like I said, we're gonna be right back. We're gonna try to do this recap real quick for you, and see how it goes. I think everyone liked the session so far today, and we'll make sure we get that going here in a second. So real quickly, shout out to our sponsors, Rogue Energy, AK Racing, and W Energy. Make sure you check them out. Make sure you also use the code bullets29 to get 15 to 10% off your purchase. Things are about $21.99 for Rogue Energy, and it's a really good company. Actually, it's actually pretty good stuff. So anyway, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and switch on over to our main screen here in a second, and we're gonna go ahead and get our cast or character members in here as well. So give us 1 second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here on our I have an echo. Hold on a second. I gotta fix that real quick. We are here on our recap stream of the session. This is session number 9, actually, for Order of the Wolf. For those of you who also know, we do have a book that I'm actually writing. I'm actually in the process of writing. I had a couple or more feelers sent out as well. A lot of people like how it's going so far. So yeah, so we're gonna see and make sure. I'm gonna work with a couple other people to kind of get them up to speed of what's going on here too as well. But it looks like we're gonna have a good book on our hands. Looks like there's some people that are actually gonna really be actually have a couple of people that might actually are invested in actually investing into the book. So it's actually pretty cool already. What we're gonna do though first, real quick, we're gonna kind of do a little bit of a recap of what happened. Right now, they're in the town of Crothia, which, if you look at the map, which is on the screen right now, you will actually see Crothia in the center of the region or the realm. Crothia is the main town to where kind of the central hub for everything is at. Daggerfell is also at the bottom. That is the Dragonborn region. To the left, right at the base of the hills next to Crothia, is Duskfall. Now that is the home of where Miss Scarlet is from, who's pretty much one of our main characters that we have in the group as well. And then we have Irithlund. For some reason, some people are having some problems pronouncing this. It's Irithlund, so it's Irithlund. So hard. It's a little hard, and some people are struggling with it, which is fine. It's fine. It's okay. Irithlunian. Okay, that's fine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of give a little bit of a recap on each one of the cast members. So far we're gonna start with our main cast member, which is Miss Curly. Kind of give us a rundown on how Scarlet responded today and how do you feel her character is going so far?
Honestly, I was a bit confused how to react with her at first when it came to what was happening. So I was a bit indecisive at certain points with her of how she would react. However, though, I did remember one of her main perks/flaws, I guess, so to speak, with her is she doesn't want anybody to suffer. So when that clicked in my head, that's when I decided to follow her father, realize of the dark power, try to understand Uncle Baron and what she and what her parents were trying to explain to her. So she thought maybe the way for her to get Uncle Baron to understand her and maybe even come back to them, she thought maybe if she went through the dark magic like he did, maybe that would help him. But clearly it didn't work in that scenario. I also realized too during it, even myself included, I was getting a little frustrated at myself because, I guess frustrated in general that both Thois and her father were not explaining things properly to her, or at least in her mind she didn't think so. So because she was being held back on information that she was getting fed up with, she decided to try and feel that dark energy to kind of essentially step in Baron's shoes and to see how much of what actual power she does have. And was thinking that maybe...
And it was a little bit too for you too. It was for you, and even with your backstory that you have, and kind of the flaws that you have, the way that your character is set up and is played, she's had a long and troubled past, and trying to figure out who she is for a long time. And I think, in all honesty, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think with Lord Baron, especially with today, with what happened, I think it's picking at old scars or old wounds. And so I think that's part of the reason why she was so confused. And I think part of the reason why she was so troubled, and started to cave to certain ways, is because they're opening old scars for her old wounds that she's experienced before. Yeah, I mean, that's just how I kind of see it. I don't know if that's the same way that you see it, but that's kind of the way that I've kind of seen that play out. Is that it's just, a dark entity has come into her life before. Lord Baron has done this before to her, and it's kind of opening old memories. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree with that perspective, actually. I didn't think of it that way, but it did in my head during the session too, for like the next one, maybe trying to get her to chase after him, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily, maybe not going to war, but
Right.
almost like, can't believe I'm relating this to like kind of like Star Wars, because that's what it seems like it's
Oh,
doing.
boy.
But no, like, I mean, in a way of
Kind of with Luke and Anakin.
basically
Darth
like
Vader.
trying to,
Like
but instead,
trying to convert he's trying to convert his father over to the light side, and come back with me. You're
sort
better than
of,
this kind of
except
thing.
I viewed it more for her and her scenario as maybe using him as a guide, like viewing him like that, like a mentor essentially, to see so she can fully understand this dark magic that she does have, because she's getting no explanation from anybody.
Right. So what about Thois? I mean, obviously you and Thois have had a pretty good relationship from when you were as a child, into now, and people are wondering what's going to happen between you and Thois. I mean, especially with Thois right now. I mean, Thois obviously has something more of a deeper connection to you, especially with what happened with the dark power that you just experienced.
The fact that he goes through like so many leaps and bounds for her, and I think as of right now she feels really guilty that she put him through that. Like, now that she's fully understanding it, she's starting to think that it's not fair that he needs to go through that. She, in a sense, wants his spirit to be at peace, because she feels like a little bit now that she's torturing him in a way. Even though it may not be purposeful, but she you know what I mean, like, she wants him to be at peace and not dealing with her BS,
Right.
essentially.
Right. That makes sense. So we'll come back to you. We're gonna jump over to Manaxis here real quick. Manaxis, your character has been kind of more of like the one that's trying to like keep things together. You know what I mean? Without it falling apart. You and Rayla both are kind of doing that right now. We're trying, trying to do it. So kind of walk me through how it went for your character today.
I think my character's kind of trying to... Well, here's the thing. He's trying to keep the battlefield stable. And also trying to make sure the two children...
Okay.
Excuse me, I think she's older.
I don't care
Say,
right now.
okay.
It basically seems like you two have been children.
I know I'm older.
Continue on. Just continue. What? So what? How do you feel?
Stay safe.
The whole thing. Okay.
I think this time he chose the lives of 1,000 over the entire half the team. And besides, he saw that other people were going with her, so he thought, maybe it'll be safe for her. So that's why he stayed on the battlefield.
Gotcha. Okay, that was actually going to be my next question. Was why on the battlefield? Why did you stay on the battlefield? Why did you choose to stay on the battlefield rather than go with the group?
Well, sometimes in orders they have to split the group to make sure one line stays defended, even if it's only one person.
Okay. We're gonna move on to Rayla next. Rayla, kind of walk me through a little bit on what's going on in your head. What's going on in the head of your character through everything that's been going on? What? Give us an idea. Give us...
reach these kids.
Kind of walk me through your thoughts a little bit about your character's thoughts and opinions on what's happening.
Alright, so we're having this big battle. Then the children decide, we're gonna run off chasing the guy that's got evil dark magic. Leaving the rest of us to clean up the fight. So,
okay.
That was interesting to find out.
So what about this? What about this whole thing with Thois and Scarlet that you just saw in the castle? Like, how? Kind of walk me through what you thought about that.
At some point, you would have thought that me repeatedly saying these dark powers are bad things, it would have gotten across to Scarlet that these dark powers are bad things. But you know, I guess I should have been a bit more thorough when I said it.
Okay. Pika, since Pika's here. Now, Pika hasn't been with us too long or too many sessions, but he's been here for a good part of it. Kind of walk me through, how do you feel your character is taking things as it is right now? Gotcha. So you're kind of just testing the waters out, if I'm hearing that correctly. You're just kind of trying to figure out what's happening. You're still trying to understand everything, and you're just kind of going with the flow of things. Yeah. So we're gonna jump back to Scarlet real quick. Scarlet. So what do you see transpiring down the road? You know, what do you see with how things are going? Stuff like that. How do you see that playing out?
I could see her still trying hard to convert Baron to go back. Uncle Baron to, like, come back. I could see her trying really hard and kind of going through tooth and nail to basically do it. Part of me is still not sure if I want to fully explain about Baron part, at least, and how he's my uncle. Which, by the way, I enjoyed that little twist that you added.
You're welcome.
I'm not fully sure if I want to tell the party yet about Baron. The fact that he's my uncle. I have a feeling she might leave that part out. But trying to explain, I think partially what I'm worried about, a little bit is what her team members will think about her, like her party essentially. I'm also worried that some of them might want to try to tie her up. However, though, she's not like, she's not as stubborn as Echo, at least from what I'm gathering of how Echo is.
Right.
She's definitely a lot more easier going to explain things, for sure. So I don't think they need to go to that extreme to tie up.
So how do you guys feel about the whole thing with what happened with Crothia? Because you guys all thought it was Daggerfall. You know, that's where everyone thought it was going to be at. You know, you weren't just the only ones. Everyone thought it was Daggerfall. How did you guys all feel once you came back and you saw Crothia the way it was?
Kind of actually made me think back a little bit. Like, part of me was a little mad, like, just at the situation, not because of, you know, how the way she reacted, but more of...
What did we miss?
Yeah, like, if we missed something, which I have a funky feeling if we didn't kill the troll.
I'm going to tell you guys right now.
Uh-huh.
It had to do with the troll. It did have to do with the troll. They did have to do with the troll. However, but you would have, either way, just so that you guys are aware, it's a little bit of a spoiler. If you went after the troll, Daggerfall would have fallen. If you went after the Baron, Link Crothia would have fallen. So either one of them was gonna fall. But the main target was Crothia. So that's why I'm saying that's when you came back, you saw hundreds of thousands of Crothians on the field. Because Crothia was the main target. It wasn't Daggerfall. It was Crothia. How did that make you feel, Rayla and Manaxis and Pika? How did that make you guys feel when you came back and you saw that?
In my opinion, the fight seemed a bit too easy, so I felt like something was off.
Yeah, when they disappeared too quick.
It was a diversion. You're right. It was a diversion. They were trying to get you guys to go to Daggerfall, which is what happened. The main force was in Crothia.
I wanted to ask
So,
you this, though.
Yes.
I was actually trying to see if I could direct Curly from the darkness with just voice.
No. You won't be able to. Because
But it was a close idea.
I
I'm
know.
trying to-
No, it would be an honest reason, but I think even hypothetically, I'm just thinking how Scarlet would have been if hypothetically you guys actually caught up to her and told her to stop. I have a feeling she still wouldn't.
She would have still done it. She would have still done it.
Yeah, she definitely still would have done it. For sure.
Because none of you listen to the voices of reason.
And just for our viewers, because I do have people viewing this, just for our viewers, the reason why behind that is because Scarlett's character, and the reason why I say this is because I actually know Scarlett, how Scarlett's played very well, and who she is. Not because I know Curly, but because I helped her gained that mindset to the point where she knows how to play Scarlet now very, very well. And that's why those spirit walks are very crucially important, because through that spirit walk, I think she started to really grasp who she is and understand her faults and her failures and where her strengths and weaknesses are. Correct me if I'm wrong, Curly. Okay. Scarlet, regardless if you have caught up to her or not, the moment that she responded the way that she did to Thois, that was the same way that she would have responded to every single one of you. She would have pushed you aside. She would have ultimately used her ability and pushed you all aside to the wall. Regardless of how you guys would have approached her to try to talk her out of it, she was so far gone to the fact that she was so confused on the information that was never given to her by her father and her uncle, and it was denied from her Thois for so long that she was so frustrated and so angry about it, more anger than anything, because she's wanting to try to make them proud. She's wanting to try to fulfill her promise to her clans and to her kingdom, but she feels like what's happening is that Thois and the rest of her family are denying her the capability to be able to do that, because they're not explaining to her what the actual ability of her dark magic is.
I don't know.
That
I still
is
think smashing a chair over her head
100%
probably
correct.
would have stopped her.
And that's how I see it happening, and that's because because I know Scarlet. I know Curly. Curly and I have been playing Scarlet for how long now?
Quite a
I
bit.
will
Too
say
long.
this.
Too long.
Curly, you should still expect a hug from his character.
Yeah, well, good. I mean, through time, I think she will. But right now, she's just so distraught that she feels like she's letting people down. Most importantly, Thois.
Yep.
100%.
100%.
I think because of the fact that Thois has been with her for so long, it's helped her grow into the person that she is now. He's watched her. I mean, it's just like Draxus. Draxus had watched Curly grow up from his child. Draxus taught her. And the whole thing with Draxus, it put her into a state of mind of where she was like, oh my gosh, everyone's around me is dying. What the heck? Everyone's around me is dying. I can't stop it. Everyone that I'm around is hurting me. And she's at the breaking point to where she's just like, maybe I should just be by myself. But she knows that there's so much responsibility on her plate, and there's so much that she has to follow through with, that if she is denying her responsibility, at the same time, she's going to be abandoning her responsibility. But she's still trying to grasp and understand the concept of ruling and overseeing a nation or overseeing a country or clan comes with great responsibility, and sometimes there's loss. And she's struggling with that concept. She's struggling with the idea of understanding that I don't want to lose people. I don't want to disappoint people, but at the same time, continuing on this path, I'm losing people. Following through with what I need to do, I'm losing people. But if I leave and go back to what I was before, I'm no better than where I was before. I'm letting people down. I'm hurting people. Whatever decision that she makes, she's hurting people. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the way I've read Scarlet, is that she's fighting herself.
That's 100% right. Like I said, she is worried about telling you guys, but at the same time, I think she's gonna slowly realize that and I think right at the end there with Thois before he left was that she's gonna have to explain it to you guys. And I think she'll accept her fault. Hopefully that'll... I believe she'll accept her fault and accept that she screwed up. Like, she won't deny it. Like,
she's not gonna deny it. She's not gonna deny it, but she's gonna resent it for a long time.
Yeah.
She's gonna resent it, and it's gonna haunt her for a long time. Where before it was barren and the fear of her clan and everything. Now it's the fact that she's let the order down. The one thing that her father started so many years ago, and the one responsibility that she had to preserve and protect and defend these realms, these regions, as one unified country. That's what she's living with now. That's the fear that she's dealing with now. And she knows she's let you all down because she hasn't been honest with herself. She hasn't been honest with herself. As a result, she hasn't been honest with you all. If I'm wrong. I mean,
you're
I'm pretty
like
sure I'm right.
100% on it, actually.
So, not trying to steal your thunder or anything, but that's just how I've understood Scarlet from the get-go. I mean, she's been so filled with resentment and pain and ever since her father, and that's why, you know, the song keeps playing in her head over and over and over again. The song of the White Wolf, because of the fact that it keeps playing in her head, because of the fact that it's true. It's like, I'm the wolf, the White Wolf, the defender, the keeper of all the packs. But I'm not doing my job. I'm not defending my pack. I'm not protecting my pack. I'm letting my pack down. But most importantly, she's laying herself down in the process. And so I'm interested to see what happens, especially between Thois and Scarlet. Because I think there's a bond being created between Thois and Scarlet. I don't know how deep, but I can kind of sense that something's happening between the two of them. So, any other thoughts or questions or comments to our lovely viewers before we end the stream?
Let
All
it
right.
be said that by the time that magic portal was over, I threw everyone else at it.
Oh my gosh.
You should have seen the chat. I'm not gonna lie. It was
Oh
pretty
my
funny.
gosh, the chat. I had to mute the chat. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I need to focus. I'm trying to build an intense moment with
Read it
Scarlet
back.
and Thois,
Read
and
it
I'm like, I
back.
can't not do it. I can't. I will let you know by the time I got done.
Put
with,
it in the book.
By the time I got done with the episode, I looked at the messages. I kid you not, 49 unread messages. I kid you not, 49. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I cannot do it. So,
Come on.
no,
Let
no.
me dual wield
No,
people to throw
no.
at the darkness.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna
I
go
was
ahead. We're gonna we're gonna end it there for tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed the content that they brought for you today. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button down below. Make sure you follow as well. Follow and subscribe. Sorry. If you want to see more or want to know more about the book that I'm writing, make sure you hit that comment down below and let us know. As always, thanks for tuning in. Check out our sponsors, Rogue Energy, AK Racing, and W Energy. And as always, we'll make sure we see you on the next episode. Have a good night.